moving on, is the family is still the same, but our lives are different because one of the family members is missing, and because of him being murdered. So that is something. And it will never be the same for us anymore. However, I have tried to the best of my ability, together with my family, to project positive activities in the community. So I tell my story to people, to family members who have experienced a loss like ours, and together with my family, we all get together and we look at everything from a positive side.
Well, holidays, I remember my dad a lot, because holidays, they trot out a lot of family and a lot of, hype around that. So I remember, and I miss him. So this time of the year, as it's getting closer and stuff, I find, and it's good maybe doing this, because then I remember, why it is that I feel kind of sad, just a low level kind of sad, and emptiness. It's sort of like and there's times too that, like I see a man on the subway or something, and just a flash or a glance, and I'm thinking, whoa, it looks like my dad. Still, I mean, I'm still doing that. It's 2 years later, right? Or I'm doing something, or I say something, and I know I got that from my dad, so I'll miss him. So it's just this sort of, I don't know, just knowing he's not there. And mostly with my father, people talk about unconditional love, and I think that was what I always got from my dad. And I always felt like I was beautiful. He was a flirt, and all the women loved him, all the girls, everybody and stuff, but he made me feel like I was special, and it's things like that I miss, and his humor, and so I remember him every now and then, and I wouldn't say it's every day, but there'll be just moments, and it's just that emptiness, just that little feeling of,
Life is extremely difficult. Because even though it's been so long since my loss, it's been 15 years, there's still times when I really feel like I need my mom. Like, it doesn't matter how grown I am, I still need my mom. I feel like I'll never be able to have that support again, the support that I had when my parents were alive. So I guess it's just about chewing on that and swallowing it and digesting it in a way that is comfortable for me, knowing that I really am on my own.
I'm surprised that I'm feeling as much as I'm feeling just talking about it, because the camera and the whole thing, you'd feel, But I mean, I am in my own space, so I mean, that's a certain amount of comfort too. But and I'd been sort of preparing beforehand, and stuff like that, but still talking, really just recounting or whatever it is, and just remembering, I feel myself almost like really choked up,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to have a miserable day, guys. No. Nah.
Life and death is so connected. I mean, it's fluid from one to the next, from one moment to the next. But how we live our life is how we're going to grieve. We're not going to grieve any different. So if we were the kind of person who's like, keep it together and don't do the, when we're dealing with death and loss, that's probably what will happen. The other thing that I think is key and that affects how we grieve is how whatever experiences we have that we kind of have suppressed. So let's say we've had a lot of loss in our lives, and we never give ourselves permission to let it out, to express it. When we are dealing with a current loss, and there's a saying that new losses resurrect old losses. And so sometimes when somebody's weeping and wailing and you're thinking, oh boy, but they're crying for all the other losses and all the other traumas and all the other pain that they might have experienced, that within this death experience or this loss experience, it kind of comes back up to the surface.
Dealing with grief is hard for like youth. I could say that because I've been through, you know. Past year, you can say 5, 6 people has just passed away from my life, you know. And that's like everyone in my family or just friends. So it's hard for you to deal with that stuff, you know. Some people I knew closer than others, you know, but you still feel that grief that they're gone, they're not living. And you can't do nothing about it. You can't say goodbye to them or nothing, you know. You just gotta live on and do what you gotta do to survive, but it's kind of hard because at times you think about that person and then you just fall back into everything you feel and stress or whatever, you know.
It was being angry and rebelling. I'm angry, but I don't think I'm like, you know? I think I'm more, caring about that.
You start giving up.
Yeah, kind of.
Try something to do with your time. And if you do think about it and like think about the good things. Don't really think about the bad.
But there's so much bad, yo. It's different thinking about just the good things. There's not enough good. Things seems negative. The way people put it is negative. It's always a put down instead of a bring up.
What if you don't remember the good or anything? Because you were too young.
You gotta just try and stay positive. You're gonna have those days when you feel down. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have those days when you're gonna feel nice. But you just gotta go through those days, you know, everyone has their ups and downs. It's just, we gotta find a way to just, you just need to find a way to just cope with things easier instead of running to violence or running to drugs or, you know. We gotta find different ways to just help us cope with our stress.
If only my daughter had the benefit of knowing her grandmother, how much joy that would bring to me. So I think I am better able to deal with the feelings that arise from losing my parents at such a tender age. But I don't feel like I'll ever stop grieving. I just think that the process will change. I think that as I grow older, it will affect me differently. And I don't think it's negative. I just think that the grief journey is a journey that happens for life, for the rest of my life. Because there will be times when I will be feeling great and happy and I'll be okay. And I can sit and reminisce about my mom and it will bring me to a happy place. And then there will be times when I sit and I think about my parents and I'll be saddened by their loss. And I'll wish that they were here with me.
For people who have lost their spouse out there, don't forget that inner strength that you have. You know, people forget that you can move on, you could work it out. Think about that inner strength and work on those capacities, and that would help you. And I'd never thought that I had it, but once you're faced with something like this, it will come out. Also, for the children, just remember that they did have a loving father. They shouldn't be singled out. You know, just continue doing what they're and just make the parents proud. And that's what I'll tell them. Financially, it's still difficult. I still have to work on that. I'm back in school getting my degree. That's moving forward because that's what they look at now. You have to have a degree, you gotta have your master's, and if that's what I have to do to help my family financially, that's what I'm gonna do. For someone who have lost someone close to them, the grieving is always gonna be there. And I know people say to you, time heals all wounds. I don't believe that. Yes, what I believe in that is that time doesn't heal wounds. It's what you do at that time. And grief does not end. So what right now, I still have grief. I see my children every day. I see their father in them. So I see them. So it's not something that's going to go away. Because once I look at the children, I see my husband. So all I have to do now is to learn to live with that grief. It will always be there, but I just have to learn to live with it.